Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn. I'm the Senior Conservator here at the Manitoba Museum, and I'm going to talk to you today a little about the maintenance and care preservation of the Nonsuch. The Conservation Department is essentially responsible for the long-term preservation of the ship, so we keep things in ship shape so that visitors can continue to come aboard and look after this great artifact that we have here. So a few things that the conservation team does. We do things on a weekly basis, we do things on a monthly basis, quarterly, and then annually. So as the weeks and months goes on, those projects get bigger and bigger because the ship is so large. So on a weekly basis, all the floor decks, I guess you can call them, the decks, we actually vacuum them to get all the dirt and the debris off because that can be really abrasive, and we don't want to essentially sand this down until it's nothing. We also wipe down all the woodwork because dust is also very abrasive. So all the woodwork here, the ship is composed of mainly wood, so it's a lot of dusting, and so that's our responsibility to care and look after. So again, just sort of getting all those things tidied up. On more of a monthly basis is when we actually go up and climb on the rigging. So these are the ratlins, and these are rope ladders. Anything that is sort of has this black look to it is called the standing rigging, and that means that it doesn't move. The other ropes that you see, which are sort of this white color, is called the running rigging. So if I were to pull on this, and I'm the only one that's allowed to do this, it actually moves components of the ship because the ship is a working ship. So that's one of the reasons why we say don't touch anything, is not only because we have oils in our hands and the oils can get on these ropes, and that doesn't help with preservation, but also for a safety thing. If you accidentally pull on something, it could potentially move a yard in a way that we don't want it to move. But back to the maintenance. So this requires tarring. So that iconic smell that when you come in here, it smells a little bit like barbecue, as I like to say. This requires coating of pine tar. I have a jar of it here, or a tin of it, and this is essentially what we apply. So it's called Stockholm tar, and it's this very oily black substance, and we climb up the rigging using safety ropes. So the blue rope has nothing to do with the ship. This is actually for me to connect this fall rest harness to so that I'm safe when I go up, and then we apply the tar as we go. The reason why we tar the rigging is because, again, it's a working ship, and so we say that the ropes are thirsty, right? So the tar was actually used as waterproofing, and so because this is on the outside of the ship, and it would obviously get wet and stuff like that, it would help the ropes from disintegrating and breaking down. I understand that there's no water in the museum, but we continue this tradition too, just so that the ropes don't harden and crack over time. Because once Stockholm tar essentially sits, it is very hard. But if we continue to apply it, it stays supple. And we want to make sure that that sort of working ship idea continues on, right? If we let this just to sort of become frozen in time, then there is a potential that we could have more problems in the future. But yeah, so that's one of the bigger maintenance things that the ship requires. We also have to go high up into the yards and into the sails because those also require dusting. It's very physically demanding, so we can only do it for a few hours at a time. But it is pretty fun if you have a stomach for heights. I encourage you not to touch the ropes because, again, it helps with preservation. But yeah, just look for those little hidden details that the conservation team is sort of looking after every day.